Hello, hello. How are you? How's the weekend so far? Wait, let me see if I'm live already on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page. Let's take a look at this. Looks like I'm live. Okay, 1 second. All right, welcome back to Ask Jason Anything About Meta Advertising and Digital Marketing. So, if this is the first time you see me, welcome to my universe. My name is Jason. I'm a Meta Ads and Digital Marketing Strategist and Coach from Malaysia. So, what I do is I work with businesses to optimize their meta advertising and digital marketing activities. So, I'm a meta ad specialist, as in like a certified meta ads professional. So, definitely, if you're running ads on Meta, which is on Facebook and Instagram, if you're facing any challenges, especially when it comes to if you have been running ads for a while, but you're not quite sure whether you are doing the right thing, that's what I specialize in. And what we usually can do is we can have a session of 30-minute Zoom call, and we will dive into your campaign and see what's working and what's not working. So it's really beneficial because a lot of people are running ads without knowing what's happening in your campaign. And that's something that is quite scary. And when I say meta advertising optimization, it actually involves beyond meta advertising. That's what I specialize in as well. Because when you're running ads on Facebook and Instagram, the advertisement itself only plays about 50% of the role. Meaning, you have a good creative, yes, you drive the right people, but eventually you may still have a failed campaign because you have a wrong landing page, or maybe you have a wrong offer, especially if you're doing a lead gen, for example. Like recently, I have a client who runs an e-commerce business. So what they do is they use a product that is not so popular, and they create a buy two free one campaign, and it flopped, for two weeks to a month. Eventually, we didn't get much traction out of it. But when we changed the thing a little bit, and we started to position the main product, which is the star product, as the main product, and then we free the not so popular item as the buy two free one kind of strategy, and it worked tremendously. You see, sometimes we may have a lot of blind spot, especially when we are running a business itself, because to be frank, a lot of times whatever we thought that is working is may not be the right thing, because we are not we especially when we are running a business itself, we may not be able to see a lot of blind spots that are very obvious for outsiders. So my role when it when I work with any businesses is, aside from looking at whatever the ad side that is working or not working, I also take care of the off ad the aspect of it, which is we would definitely look at all these aspects, such as the offer, the landing page. Like another case is, I've got a client who has been running a lot of good campaign, running driving a lot of people to their website. CPC is good, CTR is good, and everything, but then again, the sale is not as good as we wanted it to be. Then we realize it's actually the landing page that is not optimized in driving people to take the desired actions that we want to do. So we did a reshuffle of the elements in the landing page itself. Like we move some of the important products first, and then we have a little bit of different guidance to give people different information. So it increases the number of content view on the landing page itself. Meaning, you see, when it comes to e-commerce, it's very interesting. People click on it, doesn't mean that they will start browsing. You see, I'm interested in the ad itself in the very first place. I click on it and come over to your landing page. Then I realize, well, the landing page is not as optimized in terms of driving me to the next steps. It may be confusing. That's one of the common mistakes a lot of people make when it comes to the e-commerce landing, because you try to chuck everything together, or you drive people to the homepage itself, which can be a wrong thing as well. So what we need to optimize on that, but a lot of things can be, like all the information, a lot of information can be retrieved from the advertisement side. Okay, meaning if we have a lot of, let's say, landing page view, but we have very low content view, and when we pair it with the Google Analytics, we realize that the bounce rate is really high, then we definitely have to do something about it. So these are all the very interesting things that we can do when it comes to advertising optimization, which is, in fact, it's a digital marketing optimization as a whole, because it involves multiple elements. So one thing I really want to start advocating today here is the success of your campaign, especially when you're running a meta ads or Google ads or even TikTok ads. The success of a campaign, only 50% of the role is being played by the advertisement itself. Other things like the landing page, the offer, when it comes to lead gen, the lead magnet itself, whether it's really something that people are interested in, plays a very significant role. So if that's something that you have been kind of like puzzling you, whether why is it not working? Is it because of the ad? Is it because of this? I would definitely recommend that you find a link in the description, and we can actually have a quick chat. Or let me bring up this screen. I was supposed to share, my screen here, because this is supposed to be the live session called Ask Jason Anything. So if you're interested to work together, okay, you may scan this QR code. Although it says it's a one-on-one meta ad support, it's really a one-on-one digital marketing support. But whether you are running ads or whether you're not running ads, if you are not kind of like you need somebody to look at your advertisement, your landing page, your offer, and all that, you can scan this QR code. You can either book a 30 minutes or an hour session, which is already given there. Pick a time, pay the fee. Immediately we can have a Zoom call together to dive into your situation. Yeah. But then again, let me come back to this Ask Jason Anything. So what I do here is every Sunday night, I go live on my YouTube channel and my Facebook mainly. So what I do is I answer questions from my community about meta advertising and digital marketing. So if you have any questions, regarding meta advertising, then please, the first thing I would recommend you to do is dive into my YouTube channel. I posted over 1,000 videos in the past 5 years answering questions about meta advertising. Try to see whether you can find an answer that is related to your challenge. If you can, move on and do whatever you need. But if you cannot, all you need to do is just post your question as a comment on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to just basically, I'll be able to just pick up your question and answer questions on the following Sunday. So it's called Ask Jason Anything. So this is the session, the name of the session. It goes live every Sunday night. Basically, I will spend about half an hour answering your questions. So if you have anything that is not related to meta advertising, which is like digital marketing, especially whether you're having some issue about your landing page, you're having some questions, your doubts about how do you get more clients, how do you improve your lead funnel or whatever. If there's anything regarding that, I would do my capability best to help. But you understand that a lot of things I need to look into your funnel. I need to look into your landing page in order to be able to get enough information to give you suggestion. But nonetheless, you can still try to ask your question, and I'll do my best to address. Otherwise, this is the option that I can give it to you. Scan a QR code, book a 30-minute or an hour session with me, then we are able to just dive into whatever situations that we need to address. And before I dive into the questions that I have today, I have a quick question here coming from Bloom's Corner. So Bloom Corner is asking, what do you think of Meta Certification Professional Media Buyer? Is it hard? Well, it really depends. Okay, this is a very good question. When it comes to media buyer certification, when it comes to Meta Blueprint certification, it's for those who are not sure, it's a official certification from Meta. It's to answer, I think we have quite a number of questions where you need to certify, you need to answer and go through to be certified as a certified professional in media buying. When it comes to media buying, the question will be surrounding it will be, I'm certified buyer and certified planner. When it comes to buyer, I think it will ask a lot of questions about the meta ads objective. How do we play with the optimization and stuff like that? So if you ask me, is it hard? It is not difficult, but it's definitely not easy. What I have learned working with, because I do coach businesses or media buyers in terms of passing their exam. So what we do is we have weekly sessions where they will go through their learning, they will ask me questions, and we will go through the test questions together. Whatever that they fail, they will ask questions, I will try to explain. And even those that they passed, if they do not understand, I can still do explanation about the question about it. So that's what we do, right? Just to help you pass the exam. So if you ask me, okay, what I can learn is if you have been running ads, it's definitely a lot easier. But if you are only running one kind of ads, like there are two students from Philippines, they failed multiple times when it comes to the test exam because they only know how to run lead gen advertisement because they are working in an agency which is in US. So they have been running a lot of lead gen campaign, but frankly, lead gen is not enough. you have a lot of e-commerce related questions that you need to address, like how do you do the catalog linking, how do you optimize for different like optimization, and how do you categorize your audiences for, a lot of tricky questions, as you already know, or you probably don't, but basically you need to address both sides, e-commerce and lead gen. And my only my only recommendation is really to go through all the learning material that is prepared by Meta, and then try to go through their test questions multiple times. But if you need help, I have been certified since 2017. Wait, is it 2017? Yeah, 2017 until now. So yeah, over the years, we need to go through recertification over every year, right? So we that's how Meta forces us to stay in touch on the market development or the industry development. So if you need help, you can always scan this QR code to book a ad hoc session with me. So you don't need to go through a full coaching program and whatnot. Whenever you have any question, let's say you just accumulate some of the questions, just book a 30 minutes and we can have a quick discussion over your, the challenges that you're facing, things that you do not understand, because certain concepts, even Meta try to explain as much as they can. It may not be as straightforward as it is, but if you have somebody who have done it before, like I probably will give you different objective or different perspective in looking into whatever that is bothering you. So yeah, that's something. Scan this QR code, and I look forward to work with you. All right. So let's go through the questions that I get. Now, first is a question from Goy's Room. So it's a question about Meta Ads account type. Like when it comes to Meta Ads account, there are two types of accounts. Basically, the personal account, which is linked to your Meta profile, Facebook profile, or Instagram profile in this case, or it's actually an account that is created under your business portfolio, which is a business that is attached to business portfolio. So in this video, I'd explain the differences between, like personal profile and personal ad account, and, like a business related business portfolio ad account. So one thing I talk about here is you're not able to delete your ad account. That's something that is really important. So especially when you want to create a Meta ad account, whether it's on the personal side or the business side, you have to make sure that you have a few things that you need to select correctly. So the name can be changed anytime, no problem. But the currency and the time zone has to be correct, because you won't be able to change it afterwards. So that's something. And then basically, once you have created the ad account, especially now, a lot of rules are being applied here. You won't be able to create another ad account before you started running ads on the existing ad account. So there is a limitation on how many ad accounts that you can create, whether it's on the personal side or on the, like the business portfolio side. And basically, the rule stays the same. You may deactivate your account, like, whatever that you're talking about here. Yes, you may deactivate account, but the ad account will still be there. And when you deactivate an account, doesn't mean that Meta will allow you to open another new ad account right away. So you need to play this card right. That's why my recommendation would be, do not simply create an ad account just because you feel like it. Just stick with it. It's always important that you grow your ad account over time, because that's how it's like you have a new, what do we call, identity, right? Or you are new in the credit world. So as the more you run ads with Meta, the more Meta recognize you as, it's like growing your credit score and stuff like that, right? So it's really important that you grow over time so that Meta recognizes you. And over time, the better you do, you have, higher threshold and stuff like that. So that's how you would always, grow with Meta in that sense, basically just to get better and better over time, right? So yeah, that's something that you can look into. So yeah, nonetheless, if you need help, right? But I don't think you need help in this case. But if you need help with your ad account, you need some rectification, especially you need help navigating the business portfolio, which can be a little bit intimidating. People kind of find it very complicated in the business portfolio. How do you manage the roles? How do you manage especially if you have multiple people in your organization, or especially if you're an agency, work with your clients, or you're a client, work with agencies? How do you play with the roles and stuff like that? So if you need help navigating all this, scan this QR code, book a 30-minute or an hour session. I don't think you need an hour, just 30 minutes would do. And let's quick chat, over Zoom call, share your screen, ask your questions, and we can work together in solving any problem that you're facing. All right. So thanks for the question. Now I get these questions a lot, how to boost lead conversion, because when you're running ads on Meta, it doesn't mean that you always get a lot of leads, right? That's really something that you have to understand. So basically, in order to get better quality, as in like in order to boost your leads conversion, okay, there are three ways that I usually use to boost your leads conversion instantly. All right, because really you need to really find different angles to look at it. Like, first thing first, we will look at the ad per se. Now, if your ad is not actually synchronized with your offer, basically you need to make sure that these two are synchronized, because I've seen cases where the CTR is good, but the advertisement is not talking about the lead, I mean, so-called the lead magnet or the offer that we're talking about. Let's say you are trying to sell, for example, you're trying to sell property coaching course, for example, but you talk about how to invest in a country, for example, how to invest in UK. But what you're trying to sell is the property coaching course to coach people how to buy a property in UK. But the problem here is when you are selling a coaching program and you use how to buy a property as a lead magnet, as in like a hook on the advertisement side. This is a real example. Some of my clients did that. You eventually brought in people who say that, are you going to help me invest? But you're not. You're actually trying to sell a coaching program. So a lot of cases when we work with clients, one thing we always kind of find in any program over here is the synchronization between the advertisement and the offer itself. So in this case, right, you may get a lot of leads, but these leads are not ready for the coaching program. You get what I mean? So it's really important that we use the right messaging so that we are able to attract the right people. And this is a very, very normal problem, common problem. But sometimes, like I say, you may think that this is logical because this comes from you as the business owner. And when we are business owners, I built a lot of lead magnets myself in my entire career, especially since 2020, since I turned digital. Before that, I was running an agency and an offline training program, right? So when I started to go digital, I built a lot of lead magnets. I think over time, I built maybe less than 50, but definitely more than 30 lead magnets. And a lot of them actually are failed lead magnets. So what I learned from that is that a lot of times when we believe this work, we are actually thinking from our angle. So when you are building a lead magnet, it's really important that you have a third party to come in and take a look, especially if you have a noob. I always like to call myself a noob to all the industries that I work with, because I do not know, I do not understand industry. So you need to come and get somebody to actually give you honest feedback about that. So if the person cannot understand as a noob, then you probably have to fine tune and all that. But then again, if you have somebody who have been running lead magnet for a long time to come and look at this thing, you probably will see different constructive messaging or so-called recommendations coming from, like, especially me, if you want to work with me. So that's something that, so you need somebody who have built this to tell you what are the blind spots that you may have in your messaging or in your lead magnet, that could be hindering you from getting the right people. So that's really the thing. If you are able to get these things synchronized, you will be able to get the right people who are really interested in what you offer. And from there, you definitely can get better closing rate for your audience. There are more people will be booking to your call and you have better success rate on your lead gen. Otherwise, you may be running ads, generating a lot of leads, but these leads are useless. I've tried it myself, right? At one point, I always like to tell this story if you don't mind. I created a lead magnet called How to Start Understanding Meta Advertising. So basically, the positioning of that was really to address to people who are really noob to meta advertising, but they just want to understand. But people who are interested in understanding, they are probably dabbling. They're not interested in getting started. But what I really want to, who are the people that I really want to work with are those who are already running ads. So when I use that lead magnet, the one understanding meta ads, I get a lot of leads, okay? And it's really cheap. But until now, I'm still suffering from the leads that I generated from this lead magnet because these are the people that are not ready. They're just not ready. They're not running ads. So how am I supposed to make money out of them? As in, like, how am I supposed to offer my coaching program and all that to them? It's the wrong one. So it's really important to actually look at the entire offer itself. Now, the second way I help my client to get more conversion for their lead campaign is to actually have a solid follow-up SOP. So let's say your offer is dialing, and the messaging is dialing, you're getting the right people. Okay, you may still have problem converting these people. Why? Because you don't have a SOP. Like I always ask my client, okay, how many times you contact your lead? Most of them, they will just say that I just call them once, they don't pick up, I'll just message them, and I'll just wait for them to come back. Come on, man. Is this how you do business? In most of the, like success lead gen campaigns or lead gen clients that I work with, we have a system. Of course, it's really up to you. Like some of my e-commerce, not e-commerce, some of my property clients, especially those well-established property developer, they have a 7 to 10 times touch point in the entire follow-up sequence. Well, yeah, when I say 7 to 10 times mean, let's say, for example, the first time you call them, okay, you will, just try to call them. And most of the time, they won't pick up the call. Then after that, you will drop them a message and say that, hey, like this is so and so, and I'm actually from this. I saw you're interested in our property. Like, can I actually send you more information? So send them more information and then follow up after another day or two, and then drop them a message and say that I probably will call you. I mean, it's entirely up to how you want to build this. But then again, you need to have a multi-touch point follow-up sequence and SOP, and you need to stick to it. That's why I say you may not be able to build this right at the very first place, but you definitely can evolve and get better and better over time about this thing. But you definitely need to have one in place. So when you have when you have a follow-up SOP in place, the next thing is you need to build a mini CRM. Of course, if you have a CRM, that's great. If you don't, then, well, there are certain things you can do. You can use, the simplest is the Google Sheet. You can build a simple CRM that can share across the team. But if you want to go for something more robust, you can go for HubSpot and stuff like that. But you need a CRM. So this is really something that I work with my client to identify what kind of follow-up sequence that they need and what kind of CRM. I mean, if you have a bigger team, then you probably do. If you don't, then, well, you can have a simpler one. But you need to have a place, because the follow-up is really the most tedious part, but it's really all these details and, like little works that can help you boost your conversion. Because remember, you have already paid for all the leads. You may have 5% conversion rate, but fine. But if you are able to have a better SOP in terms of follow-up, and you boost the conversion rate by another, 2.5 or even, 5%, that's a win. Always think about how you can maximize on whatever that you bring in from all the money that you have spent generating all the leads. That's really the key that we want to talk about, right? So that's the second thing, the follow-up SOP. Now, the third thing, really, a lot of people don't believe in it, but seriously, you need to have an email marketing system in place. Really, seriously. I mean, you may be in an industry that, like people don't really, let's say, for example, some client would say that my clients don't open email, but hey, let's hear me out. All right. How, when you forget your password, where do you get your password from? Email, right? All right. So usually it's just the email that you always open your email, no matter what. You always go back to your email because your phone may not get the message right. The email is still tied to the very root of the online activities in our life. So nobody don't open email. Let's put it this way. Do you not open email at all? You do, right? So yeah, when you get the email of these leads, here's the thing. Whatever you do, I don't know, especially when it comes to B2B or anything that is property related. And when you do lead gen, here's what I believe. Your audience may not be ready right now, doesn't mean that they will not be ready in the future. Like I always like to tell my real estate client, these people are not interested in buying a property, doesn't mean that they are not interested in buying a property in the near future. So if you have spent so much money and you only have like 3% conversion rate, meaning 97 of 100 leads that you generate in do not buy anything right now, but does it mean that these people are useless and worthless? The answer is no. But if you have a sequence where first, when you generate the lead, I always encourage you must have an email welcome sequence. So aside from your follow-up SOP touchpoint and whatnot, your email welcome sequence is really important because that's how you build these people to come up and say that, okay, now just come back in. This is me and me and me. They may not open your email, but they always see your name appear. And if you do your SPF and all these email marketing settings, all right, your email are more likely to land in their inbox. So every time they see you, they always remember. This happens to me over time. A lot of my clients, after they sign up as my lead, they probably will start engaging my services after 2 to 3 years because they don't need that when they sign up. But down the road, when the business grow, when they're ready, they say that I need somebody to look at my email, my business, my digital marketing. And because I appear in their inbox all the time, they may not open my email, but they see the subject. They recognize that this is the guy who talks about meta ads and digital marketing. They will just keep it there. When they need me, they come to me. So building this over time is really important. But of course, we are talking about building a sequence that you are comfortable with. Doesn't mean that you have to send an email every other day. No, you don't need to do that. But then again, you need to have a sequence and you need to know what is working for you. So when I work with my client to build their email marketing sequence or email marketing so-called habit or system in place, we always talk about what is the most comfortable way or what's the most comfortable sequence. Like you don't need to send one email per week even. You can send one email every 2 weeks. Or you can actually link it to your YouTube. Like for now, I don't send email because I wanted to, because I have a new YouTube videos that I want you to watch. So I just send it over to you, and people appreciate that. Just give them information. But this helps them remember you, and over time, whenever they are ready, they come and talk to you. It's as simple as that. All right. So these are the 3 ways that I usually use, but of course there are more. But these are the top of the list methods that I help my client boost their lead conversion. So yeah, but if you are not sure, seriously, because you may not be having all these problems that I'm talking about, but then again, if you have a not so converting lead campaign, meaning you have been generating a lot of leads, but you're not really converting them well, there must be something that we can find and fix in your entire process. So if you need help, I would recommend that you scan this QR code. You don't need to book for the 60 minutes, go for the 30 minutes, book a 30 minutes discussion, and then let's have a Zoom call. Get ready to share your screen, because I may not need to dive into your Meta Ads campaign if you do run ads, or your Google Analytics report and stuff like that. We will need to find out more about your entire lead funnel, and we will try to identify, build hypothesis, and identify potential leaking points and fix them. That's what I do. All right. So yeah, if this is something that you're looking for, scan this QR code, and I look forward to working with you. Okay. So that wraps this. Basically, this is what I do. I go live every Sunday night to answer questions about meta advertising and digital marketing. So if you have any questions regarding meta advertising and digital marketing, feel free to drop your question, and just post your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos, and I will do my best to answer your question on the following Sunday. So with that, thank you so much. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you next week. Good night. Bye.